howtomakeanything.com.
Today on howtomakeanything.com we're going to talk about how to make this microphone work with this camera. And what's so special about this microphone? Well, it's a professional microphone that uses a 3-prong XLR connection. If you're not familiar with what XLR is, let's just say it produces the best possible audio you're going to get. It uses an XLR cable, which is something that looks like this. As you can see, well, those are the same. This goes into here, but this other end is not going to go into your camera because your camera, if it's an off-the-shelf camcorder, uses an 1/8 inch plug right there. These two aren't going to fit, so you need some kind of special adapter gizmo, and that's exactly what you can do. The cheap way, which is about $10, is to use an XLR to 8 inch adapter, obviously. These are relatively inexpensive at about $10. You want to get as short of a cord as possible. This might actually be too long because it'll be more prone to radio interference going in and out of this cable because it doesn't have the noise canceling properties of a real XLR. So it might work fine right up until you get to this point, and then when it turns into this and then over to here, over this 3-foot span, you might get some noise. So that's not so good. Plus, I mean, you also have to deal with strain relieving this, and it can be a hassle. It's cheap and it works, but you just have to have the right conditions. So I'd say use this and make this as short as possible. The other alternative, and the better one, is to get an XLR box, what I call an XLR box. Essentially, it's an interface that goes between your camera and the XLR device. As you can see, these two inputs here are the real deal, the real XLR inputs, and it comes out in this little 1/8 inch plug. This is the Beachtech DXA 2S. I thought it was 25 for a second, but it's actually 2S. These are really nice boxes. They have little pots on the front here that you control volume, although they always say just turn them all the way up and control the input in your camera. Or if it has an auto gain control, then you just don't do anything, just leave these all the way up. This has a mono and stereo switch, so if you have one mic plugged in, you can either send it to both channels or just one. This is a nice option because if you're going to end up with a 2-channel mono signal, you don't have to do anything in post to get it to be that way. It's just that way automatically when you switch this over to M. Or if you switch it over to S, now you can have each of these inputs go to separate channels, which, as you can imagine, has a lot of applications. You also have an auxiliary input, so if you do have that 1/8 inch mic input, it's still available. It just goes into the right channel. And you also have this little ground loop thing that, if typically with this, one of the problems with this setup is that you might get a buzz from a ground loop problem. This switch, if you have that problem, you just flip the switch and the buzz magically goes away. It works really well. Another thing I like about these interfaces, they have little screw mounts, like tripod mounts, that go to the bottom of your camera, as you can see here. You just line it up with the screw, and then you take something like a screwdriver, or in this case a dime, and you screw it in like so. Then you just take the 1/8 inch plug and plug it in. And now you've got, before you've taken your off-the-shelf camcorder and turned it into something really cool looking with this XLR box that gives you some really fantastic audio. I mean, you won't be